Hey guys, welcome back to JJL Collectibles with Jason and Jackie. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a video of ours. So we're hitting you guys with another comic book store tour. You guys love the Boston one, so we're doing one in California actually. We're over here visiting family. We're all the way up in what city?
Ukiah, California.
So we're going to be going from Ukiah all the way back down to San Francisco, where we're staying with family, and we're going to hit up as many comic book stores as we can, so stay tuned. All right, y'all, next stop is OP Comic and Games. Pretty cool. Let's see what we get.
All right, so we visited OP Comics, also in Santa Rosa, California, and I was really surprised to see this. I actually didn't know of this, and I thought I had every Ed Brubaker book ever made, from Gumby to Criminal, obviously. This is the Dead Boy Detectives number 1 through 4, the set by Ed Brubaker, which is my favorite writer, probably.
Yeah.
We got Jeff Lemire and so many others, but one of my favorites. One of the coolest things we saw was our Twig and Astro City books. These were only for OP Comics. These are special variant covers that you can only find there. I was lucky enough to get the Astro City that was then cover, signed by Tom Belland. And then this is another Twig number 1 cover by Tom Belland, which is pretty awesome. I love that cover. So that was OP Comics in Santa Rosa, California.
Next stop, Harry Doss.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah?
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram.
All right, cool. Let's see.
All right, so we visited Harry Doss Comics and Collectibles over in Santa Rosa, California. Got a couple of good gems. This is The Vengeance of Bane. This is a second print. Some would say this is a rare, harder to find one than the first print. And first appearance of, obviously, Bane, which is amazing, back in '93. So this is pretty much 30 years old, this book.
Wow.
This was awesome when I saw it. This was Incredible Hulk 181. This is a Wizard Ace Edition reprint. So it's obviously the first appearance of Wolverine reprinted.
Yeah.
Then we got here Batman number 638, when the Red Hood is finally revealed to be Jason Todd, the second Robin that was killed by the Joker a long time ago, actually. It's a really great storyline. Batman and Robin number 1, where Batman, his dad actually, because this Robin is Damian Wayne. That's the 4th Robin. And that's Batman Bruce Wayne, because there is a Batman and Robin series before this, but it's actually Damian Wayne and Nightwing as Batman. So that's why this one's big, because they're announcing that they're going to go heavy into Damian Wayne and Bruce Wayne, Batman and Robin, in the DC universe, the cinematic universe. I just thought this was an awesome cover. I actually haven't done my research on it yet, but this is Ben Reilly, the first ever Spider-Man clone. And you have Spider-Man, so the Spider-Man Unlimited number 7. Legends of the Dark Knight, number 120, which is pretty much part of the No Man's Land series, which is awesome. No Man's Land is when an earthquake hits Gotham and just brings it to complete disarray. In the movie, actually, the Batman movie with Bane in it, they show an earthquake and obviously Gotham goes into a no man's land. So that story is adapted from this book. Really good. And this is the assembly, pretty much the assembly of all of Batman's, all of his partners, Nightwing, Robin. Talks a little bit about Batgirl's origin and everything.
Cool.
And then here we have the second print of Ant-Man. I'm sorry, not second print, the second appearance of Ant-Man as Scott Lang. Because obviously the first Ant-Man is Hank Pym. There's Marvel Premiere, number 48. And the first appearance of Scott Lang as Ant-Man was 47. So I picked up 48.
Cool. All right, y'all, next stop is Cape and Cow Comics. This is my biggest favorite spot in Oakland, California. Let's see.
So we visited, again, they're all my favorite, but this is a really great one. Cape and Cow in Oakland, California. This is an awesome stack of pickups that I actually been winning auctions, living in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I win auctions. I always ask them, can you hold them for me? So they do a great job of holding them for me. So these are the auction wins. So this is a pickup I was supposed to pick up when I got here. So Savage Dragon number 1, which is obviously a great, great classic by the great Eric Larson, which we got a surprise for y'all later.
Yeah.
Deadpool number 1. This was his limited series. The New Avengers number 27. If anyone recognizes this cover, obviously this is when Hawkeye became Ronin. So if you look back at the MCU, that's still kind of a mystery of what did he do. This is by the great Brian Michael Bendis, which is one of our greatest writers. Really great cover, Dark Knights of Steel, The Gathering Storm. Just a wonderful cover. This collects issues 1 through 3 of the New Steel series. A really dope Craven cover. Mark Bagley. This was a 1 in 10 variant that I won, Edge of Spider-Verse number 5. So we have here the Crisis on Infinite Earths, #1. Marv Wolfman, George Perez, may he rest in peace. This is one of their stories, and really great story actually. One of the original ways of bringing to us the different multiverses of the DC universe. Had to pick this up. This is Batman '89. This is actually the comic book adaptation of the movie. So not to be confused with Batman '89. This was the comic adaptation back in '89. This came out by Dennis O'Neil and Jerry Ordway. Won this cover as well. Justice League of America #70. This was the funeral for a friend when Superman died. So I think this is a classic. Had to pick up a dope hip hop cover. Black Knight #1. A la Lupe Fiasco Food and Liquor cover. Had to get this Blackout Batman #25.
Wow.
0 year. This documents before year 1 when Batman became Batman. Really cool Wolverine Bloodlust cover. This is a trade. So definitely a great story. Had to pick up that Eva Ernie #2, The Resurrection, signed by Brian Pulido, the creator. Catwoman #1 by the great Jim Ballant, who did a really great run as far as artistry on Catwoman. This is from '93 as well, so another 30-year-old book. And Batman and Grendel, Devil's Riddle by Matt Wagner, who I believe is a creator of Grendel. So it's really cool to see those two collaborate. Then here we've got the new pickups that I picked up while we were in the store.
Yeah.
So Wesley Snipes has decided to make a comic book called The Exiles. I haven't read it yet, but we definitely have to read it. Hulk #6. This was a Cape and Cowl exclusive, Larry Houston variant, limited to 3,000 copies. This is an oldie but goodie. This has been out for a while. I'm surprised they still had it. Black Panther #1, Cape and Cowl exclusive, second print. This is the Virgin variant, limited to 3,000 copies. But the dopest part would be the Welcome to Oakland sign right there.
It's pretty cool.
Then you have Gambit #1, another Cape and Cowl exclusive Virgin variant. This was limited to 1,000 copies. Then we've got Maniac of New York, Don't Call It a Comeback. This is the third series in the mythos of the Maniac of New York, obviously looking at the Jason type of serial killer. And I believe this one, it's a female. That's what I've heard. I haven't read this one. And then I had to pick up another copy of Berserker #1, the Cape and Cowl exclusive. This one's limited to 750 copies. And that was Cape and Cowl. Big pickup there.
All right, y'all. Next up, Dr. Comics and Mr. Games. Still in Oakland, y'all. Let's see.
So this was a pickup over at Dr. Comics and Mr. Games over, again, in Oakland, California. And actually, Cape and Cowl was suggested this store. They said it was like the godfather of comic shops in Oakland. And it definitely is. Has some great selection. I was lucky enough to find this Frank Miller Presents, because Frank Miller started his own comic book imprint. Now, this was the ash can edition that was very hard to find. This is the first print, because there are other versions of this where the cover is reversed, or these pieces are reversed. So I couldn't believe they had the actual first print ash can, so I had to pick that up. Another copy of Silver Surfer Ghostlight, one of our newer books out there. Heard it's a great story. Definitely have to read this one. And we picked up some awesome Miles Morales third series books. This is his third series by Saladin Ahmed and Javier Garron. And we have #4, number 14. We have Civil War II tie-in, Spider-Man 6, Spider-Man 7, Spider-Man 8. This is Miles Morales, Spider-Man 9, Spider-Man 11, and 29. So this actually, my mistake, is the third series, and this is the second series by Brian Michael Bendis. Brian Michael Bendis let go of this, and he decided to give up the writing to Ahmed, and it's actually a great series as well. So third series, and this is the second series. And that was Dr. Comics and Mr. Games.
All right, y'all. So we are in Castro Valley, California, here at Crush Comics. Let's see what we pick up.
All right, so this is Crush Comics over in Castro Valley, California. And this was really amazing to see. This is the closet #1. You can't even find this on eBay or a lot of websites because this was the Crush Comics exclusive cover. I found this in a bin, actually. And I'm just very surprised that it just didn't sell out. So they had a few copies of this. We already did the story on that one already.
Yes,
first
the
YouTube
review.
video.
All right.
I found this awesome Secret Wars 2, #1, which is obviously a real big deal these days because Secret Wars is coming to the Marvel Universe and people are starting to get hip onto, Secret Wars. And the Secret Wars series has been an amazing series. That's what introduced Miles Morales into the Earth 616 Marvel Universe. Found another copy of number 12, which I thought was an awesome copy. We sold this at the Big Apple Comic Con to an awesome gentleman. So I had to pick up another one. We might CGC that one. And then lastly, Marvel Superhero Secret Wars number 11 we found over there. And again, a great cover. We got Iron Man, Fantastic Four. We got the Black Suit Spider-Man, which is a big deal these days. I think it's always been a big deal, but it's a bigger deal now. So I had to pick that one up, and that was Crush Comics over in Castro Valley. This is one of my favorite stores. I come visit all the time, and we get to record something about them, which is amazing.
Yeah.
This is Fantasy Comics over in Livermore, California. And I found some books that you can't really find in a lot of bookstores these days. So Batman, White Knight Presents the Red Hood, which is a retelling of the Red Hood in the White Knight universe by Sean Murphy and Clay McCormick, which, if you know, Sean Murphy redid the universe, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
I picked up The Harrower. I was looking for this everywhere, but for a good copy. It's a new book out by Boom Studios. It's pretty much about a serial killer in New York that spans for generations. I heard it's a really good book, so I wanted to read it. Then you have Action Comics number 1050. I mean, who wouldn't pick up that cover?
Right.
This is an homage to Action Comics number 1 with Superman lifting up the car. Then we have another one that I just couldn't find anywhere. This is pretty much off the shelves these days, which is amazing. This is Batman Beyond the White Knight by Sean Murphy. This is a second printing, but some people will say the second printing looks a lot better than the first printing. Yeah. This is the first appearance of the Neo Batman, or the Batman Beyond, in the Sean Murphy White Knight universe. So that was Livermore.
King Kong, y'all.
All right, so this pickup was from King Kong Comics over in Dublin, California. And they actually moved. I remember seeing them at a different location, and this location was definitely huge. And it was all about gamers. But we found some cool stuff. So we found, this is the 4th series of Miles Morales number 3. I just thought the cover was amazing. You got the graffiti, and you got Miles, and obviously the famous romance between him and Spider-Gwen. So that's a cover right there. And we got this cool gem here. So The Death of Wolverine number 1. This was back in 2014 when Wolverine actually died. This is a Dynamic Forces special edition. There's only 17 of these, 9.8 graded. Story by Charles Soule, and art by Steve McNiven and Jay Leiston. So had to pick up this cover. Even the back is showing you that it's a Dynamic Forces exclusive. So all of this stuff you're going to see at a Comic-Con near you if it doesn't get sold on our website.
All right, y'all, we are at our last stop of the comic book store tour. We are at Flying Colors Comics in Concord, California. Fun fact, guys, the owner of this store is actually the creator of Free Comic Book Day. Isn't that something? Comment down below if you knew that.
All right, so we visited a legendary comic book store, Flying Colors Comics, over in Concord, California, where the Free Comic Book Day was born with Jim Field. So great pickups as well. Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, number 96. I just had to pick it up. I just saw the cover, and it was just classic. You got to find out who did this cover at some point.
Okay.
Venom number 7, the cameo of Dylan Brock, Venom's son. This is a really great series by Donny Cates. This one ended maybe a year ago. But Donny Cates brought Venom to a whole different status with art by Ryan Stegman. I knew when I saw this cover I had to pick it up. This is Uncanny X-Men 252. Lady Deathstrike. I believe these are the Acolytes, which is a really, really great villain in the X-Men mythos. X-Factor number 4. I just had to get at the cover. You got Beast going to kick this woman, and you had everybody on the floor just hurt. She's probably whooping everybody's ass, and she's probably going to whoop his at some point. So I had to pick up that cover, and it's a first appearance of her as well.
Cool.
I had to pick up this cover as well, The Incredible Hulk number 284, which you got the Hulk, you have Captain America, Iron Man, She-Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, just a classic cover. And then we have here the collector's edition of Hardware. This is when Milestone partnered with DC to bring out some very classic African-American characters. We had Static born from here, which is obviously a famous cartoon, Hardware, Icon, and this is still in the poly bag, so that's what makes this really amazing.
Yeah.
And we have Criminal, the 10th anniversary special by, again, one of my favorites, Ed Brubaker, and Sean Phillips is the artist. And this was optioned for an Amazon Prime TV show. So I just thought it'd be great to just own a copy of this. And big surprise for everybody is Savage Dragon 165. This is a very rare, limited cover. A second print cover. It has a Flying Colors logo. It has a Flying Colors superhero. And this one is signed by the legendary Eric Larson. So that was Flying Colors over in Concord, California.